What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be looking at MSTR and Bitcoin today. MSTR is currently sitting at 328. Bitcoin pushed up a little bit, and MSTR pushed down a little bit in pre-market. Not too much, just a small deviation. MSTR pushed down about 2% in the pre-market. We'll see how the day begins and how it ends up closing. We're still in that sideways chop that we were talking about previously. We're just waiting for some kind of breakout to the upside or to the downside. That's kind of how we like to do it. You find price, you box it in, and wait for some kind of move to the outside area, kind of just like this one. And here it happens time and time again. So you can see price was boxed up, made a decision to a area. We're waiting for a breakout or for a breakdown. If we got the breakdown, same thing. It just continuously happens. This is how it works. It moves step by step. Here we're going sideways. We're waiting for a breakdown or a break up. Got to break up. Same thing here. It just keeps happening. That's how price action works. Price is boxed up, waiting for a breakout or for a breakdown. We got the breakdown. So it just continuously happens time and time again. So we're kind of in that phase here, waiting for some kind of chop and then some kind of move either to the upside or to the downside. But of course, if we do break to the upside, we have to keep in mind that we have this downward sloping trend line. So if we do break out, we're probably just going to be boxed in with this horizontal level of support and this downward sloping trend line. So it's going to be another boxed in area, and then the same thing will apply. We'll either have to break down or break out. That's just how it works. We'll see where we play at in terms of the 50-week SMA. Right now we're slightly underneath it, but we'll see how it closes and holds throughout this week, either to the upside or to the downside. And then on the daily, you can see we have the 20 officially crossing the 200, which is bearish. And we'll see what happens when we push up to this level, if we find rejection or if we can use it as support and hold that level to push up higher. But that's going to be a major level of rejection more than likely. But if we catch enough momentum and Bitcoin rallies enough, we might be able to push through it. On the RSI for the daily, I wonder if we found our bottom. We'll see. We made it down to 31, which is usually around that area where we like to turn back around and start to make a move up higher. As you can see, we're creating higher highs and higher lows, or some kind of bull flag. And we are breaking above our yellow moving average, so looking pretty solid overall. We'll see if this structure plays out, and once we surpass 42.4, we start to push up higher from there. On the weekly RSI, we're in line where we found our bottom in February 2025, and in line where we found our bottom in September 2024, and we're also in line where we found our bottom in March 2023. So this has been a very powerful level. As you can see, we found our bottoms on the RSI for the weekly multiple times here. So we'll see if we get a bounce here. Of course, nothing's guaranteed. We can always fall right through. On the weekly MACD, we're increasing momentum to the downside. The volume for the bearishness is increasing, as you can see that. Hopefully we can start to get this to fall down or push back up, I would say, and the bearishness to die out and start to see an increase in the bearish momentum and start to get the green flip and eventually see this blue curl back up and overtake the orange. Of course, that'll take a little bit of time because that's on a weekly chart. And here on the daily, we are already seeing that. We're seeing the momentum die out to the downside, and it's slowly pushing back into bullish territory. And we're about to get the blue flipping above the orange, which is a very bullish sign. We'll see if we can get a nice little move from there. At least touch the top of this area right here. Hopefully break through it, but this is just the next level that we need to even touch before we can even talk about breaking it. That's what we're looking at here for MSTR. On the weekly for Bitcoin, you can see we had the red engulfing candle. We pushed up, found rejection, and we closed at around 111. So we're still in between this key structure and this major structure over here, but at least we didn't fall through as we pushed all the way down, and we managed to at least close back above the structure, which is a good sign. Worst case scenario, I think we come back for another retest, but if we catch enough momentum, we can fill this wick here, close back above it, and start to rally up as we have clean candles here on the left hand side. On the daily, it does look like we're starting to form an inverse head and shoulders. You have your left shoulder here, right shoulder here, and you have your head. So we'll see if that starts to bring us some upside as we start to push up higher and surpass this 113 mark. And on the daily structure, it looks like if we surpass the 113 mark, get a close, retest, we could potentially run up to this 117 level, around 117 to maybe 118, somewhere in that ballpark, before finding some rejection along the way. On a long-term perspective, we have seen a pattern that Bitcoin likes to follow. So if you measure from each previous high to the next high, it's roughly around 45 to 50%, depending on where you want to mark it from there, or if you want to go all the way up here. It's roughly a 45 to 50% run up. You can see that's around 52%. And then if we go from this high over here to the next high, it's about 50%. So if we mark that, and then we go from this one over here to the next high, that was about 49.7%. And if we move it to the next potential high, 50% takes us to around 165. If we do 45%, that takes us to around 160. We'll see if that plays out. That would line up with the midline of this channel. We'll see when that happens, but that would more than likely result in some kind of push up, maybe wick, and then we fall back down, maybe chop sideways before making another decision. But that's kind of what I'm looking for here on Bitcoin. I think the structure's still bullish. I think we're looking pretty good in my opinion. We'll see where it takes us, of course. But I don't think much has really changed. We're holding our structure pretty well. And we're pretty much continuing the trend that we've seen time and time again, where we get a run up, sideways chop, run up, sideways chop. You know, it just continuously happens. And this one's no different, in my opinion. Creating higher highs, higher lows, looking pretty good. Once we surpass that 125 mark for that local high here, maybe we can start to see that push towards that 150 mark of that midline and potentially higher prices. Just a short video for you guys here on Bitcoin and MSTR. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Check out the link in the bio. I'll see you guys in the next one.